is a sacredness in a person's natural nature that's embedded in that individual. Their presence is purposeful in the way that it's designed. We are all designed for the purpose that we are here to fulfill. Leaning into our natural nature brings us back to the wholeness that we were created in. In the modern world, there's this oblique emphasis on destroying a person's natural nature from the time that we were children. We see this in schools where children are expected to think the same, behave the same, and learn the same things. And if they differ from this programming, they're told that they're misbehaving or acting out, when really all they're doing is following their natural curiosities in life. This form of control arguably destroys the creative spirit. The wild artist wants to be free, to explore what liberates their curiosity, and adventure towards whatever piques their interest. And this has been almost all but abolished by the systems that we've held in place for generations. And this suppression of the artistic flair is not apparent in overt manners. It's a more indirect result of the way that we experience the modern day world. And it's easy as a sensitive soul to get swept away with this controlled chaos. So how do we reverse the damage and rebuild something that was such an innate part of our being that has been suppressed for such a long time? Well, remember, this connection to yourself was never lost. And you'll see this within yourself. Every teacher that you had an argument with, every parent that was unamused by you, every 9-to-5 job that you hated. This was your wild artistic spirit rebelling against the society that you were placed in, and rebelling against a system that was never meant for you. I want to talk about the importance of intention. Everything you do needs to be done intentionally, especially as an artist, especially as a creative soul. Autopilot is just not an option for us. When we create, we are bringing something into the world that has never existed before. We are opening a portal for a new world to emerge. If you feel like you've been stuck or stagnating for the last little while, you need to remember your deeper why. You need to go back to the part of yourself that started and remember why you kept going. You need to ask yourself, why are you still trying to create? What mark are you trying to leave on the world? What is the mission statement that you're living by? Get clear on the direction that you want to go in your life. What do you want to be known for? What is your life's work supposed to be? And the answer that you first strike upon is not going to be the answer that you hold forever. But it's important to start somewhere with something. And as you grow and develop as a person, your mission statement and your reason why will change. When you work as an artist or a creative of any sort, you are committing to a life of intentionality. This means that the work that you do and what you pride yourself on has to be meaningful to you. And having a deeper why continues to bring that meaning into your life. And using intention provides a clear pathway in your life. It provides a clear pathway for your energy to flow. And flow is the act of allowing and moving through the world with grace and trust. Stepping into alignment with your true calling means stepping into alignment with flow. Setting the intention for where you want to go and then allowing yourself to be guided down that path. Flow is not this spiritually enlightened state that just appears and disappears at its own free will. Getting into a state of flow requires work and effort to maintain. It takes practice just like anything else. When I say allow yourself to be guided down your pathway, I don't mean that there's this all-knowing, powerful spiritual being that's holding your hand every step of the way. I do believe that there is a higher power and I do believe you can be guided. But right now I'm talking about your own free will. Allowing yourself to be guided means that when you stumble across something in your life that piques your curiosity, whether that be a book or a podcast or a conversation with a friend, take note of what exactly within that creates excitement for you. Your curiosity is by far one of the most important tools in your survival kit as a creative person. Following your curiosity and diving down these rabbit holes with little hesitation will bring you to places that you never even knew existed before. It's like little breadcrumbs that get placed in front of you to follow. Following these little glimmers as they appear will lead you further down your path as a creative. And this is where the importance of intention and your own personal mission comes into play. Before you wander down any pathway as it appears to you, stop and ask yourself the question, does this breadcrumb lead me down a pathway that's going to further my personal mission? If the answer is no, then it might be worth stepping back from it and trying something else. But if you're unsure, then it's worth following that pathway and allowing yourself to be guided down that to see if it works out for you or not. And if it doesn't, the worst case scenario is you just pick something else and go down a different pathway. And the best case scenario is that you'll learn something about yourself. You'll grow and develop as a person. You'll acquire a new skill set. Even if it didn't work out in the way that you thought it would, you've gained experience, you've gained wisdom and knowledge just from living. And from that, you'll have a deeper understanding of yourself and where you want to go next. Sometimes it's worth remembering that you have to know what you don't want before you know what you want. I also feel like it's worth mentioning the mindfulness of will in this conversation. I think there's a time and a place for exercising your will, your determination, and your discipline. These are incredible skills to build upon, but they don't need to be called upon at every moment in every day and for every individual. There's also a time for release, to let go of the reins, to let go of control, and allow things to happen without forcing. This is the balance of the masculine and the feminine. Both coincide with one another, and both are incredibly important. And the flow state that we talked about, that is the space in between both. When you sit directly in the middle of the state of these two beings, evenly balancing discipline with release, that is the flow state. This is when two worlds come together in complete harmony with one another. The masculine and the feminine energy within yourself, meeting at this halfway point, and coinciding with each other. Creativity is born from flow. And flow is the state of mind that you enter when everything clicks. This is the point you get to when your inner compass aligns. And using pure will when you're a creative person can cause more disruption than anything else. It's important to find your natural flow and be deeply encompassed by the balance that you experience in this state of being. So how do you create from intention within this flow state? Working with intention requires working with yourself rather than against yourself. Knowing your own self deeply and using your intuition to guide you. Acting in alignment with yourself and what you wish to create. You cannot deny your true nature of being. The way you are built is for a purpose, and too often we are taught to go against our natural state of being and the natural grain that we are born with in order to fit the mold of society that we're told that we should live in. But a lot of the time this is not in our best interests. Returning to ourselves is a hard journey, but the most rewarding one. And when you create as an artist, this is such an intimate experience with yourself. It requires a level of depth with yourself mentally and emotionally. And this depth comes from vulnerability with yourself. Allowing the inner parts of yourself to be seen by your own conscious awareness. And the deeper down this pathway you walk, the more comfortable you feel with the natural state of being. The one that only you can embody. Knowing what works for you and what doesn't is powerful. Having your own systems that optimize your creativity is powerful. And knowing how to step in and out of this flow state is powerful. I encourage you to venture into the wilderness. Root yourself back into your own sacred ground. Bring yourself back to your own inner compass. Tailor your life to your own needs. Follow your own curiosities. This is world building in real time. Building your own world and placing your attention to your own inner state of being. Focusing on the intangible instead of the tangible in order to create pathways that you never even knew existed before. Allow yourself to be intuitively led. Don't fight the current of your own inner knowing. Work with your own rhythms. Your soul has the map. You have your own inner compass. It just gets lost when you take on the projections of the external world. Align back with your own nature. Everything you do needs to be intentional. Slow down and start giving that attention back to yourself. Start to inquire about yourself. Become curious again. Get curious about the level of depth that you've already reached, and then go deeper. Explore your new waveforms of consciousness. Follow what makes you curious, and create your life with intention. Thanks, guys. Bye.